pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
the United States of America,
for which it stands,
one nation, which is standing God, one nation,
with liberty and justice for all.
with liberty and justice.
It's like having a slap back. It's like a delay you.
Delay.
All right. Okay. Roll call, please.
Okay, Mayor Middlesex.
Here.
Council President Carnahan.
Here.
Councilman Carnes. Here. Councilman Decino.
Here.
Councilman Doty.
Here.
Councilman Quinn.
Here.
Councilman Rex.
Here.
Administrator Place is absent. Attorney Corsini.
Here. Okay, tonight we have no presentations. We have an appointment. I'd like to accept the appointment of Bob Scher as alternate 2 to the Board of Health. Motion?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Okay, we have no ordinances for introduction tonight, but we do have several for public hearing and final adoption. Linda?
Okay, we have ordinance number 2124-24, an ordinance to amend chapter 351, solid waste, section 351-4, placement of garbage in suitable receptacles in the code of the Borough of Middlesex.
All right, I'd like a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion, Mayor. Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anyone wishing to speak on this subject, please come up, state your name and address. All right, seeing no one wants to step up, motion to close?
Motion. Second.
All right, very good. Motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
All right, any discussion on this? It should be pretty straightforward at this point. All right, so pull the roll, please.
We have Council President Carnahan.
Yes.
Councilman Carnes.
Yes.
Councilman Decino.
Yes.
Councilman Doty.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
And Councilman Rex.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. All right. Number 2?
We have ordinance number 2125-24, a bond ordinance providing various capital improvements and the acquisition of various capital equipment appropriating $2,187,600 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,658,500 bonds and notes to finance a portion of the cost thereof, authorized in and by the Borough of Middlesex and the County of Middlesex, New Jersey.
Okay, motion to open the public portion.
Motion. Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, anyone wishing to step forward?
John Madden, 39 Ramsey Road. A couple quick questions. This is probably a Carolyn question, but it's here. The grant portion, which is $441,440, is that a participatory grant or is that a full grant?
It doesn't have, it's not a matching requirement.
Oh.
That is the full amount that we would get, and we put in for the project and tell them the scope of the project, the estimated cost, and then that's how much they award us based on what we perform.
So we're anticipating that we're going to be getting that grant, right? It's for future.
Yes, that's the amount that we've been awarded, yes.
Okay. The other part of that, I'm a little confused, and probably my ignorance. So this grant's going to be for, I guess, for mill and overlay for Seneca and First and Second Street, right?
The portions of First and Second Street on the high school side of
Okay.
28th.
So nothing for the other work that we need, like the laterals, the sewer laterals, or anything that we need the DOT stuff, right?
On those specific roads?
Right.
I'm not exactly sure how much all of that is scoped in the project. That was something that Lenny and the engineers worked on, scoping of the project was submitting it to the DOT.
And the last question I have about the ordinance, I remember we had the jetpack, we had the shared service agreement with Denellen. Are we anticipating using, getting some of that money for Denellen's end of this to participate?
We have already signed a lease agreement with the dealer, and so Denellen is paying 50% of the cost, and we're paying 50% of the cost, 7-year lease. So what's in here is our portion of 1 year of it.
I like that, it was very succinct. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right, seeing no one else, I'd like a motion to close the public portion.
Motion. Second.
Second? All right, motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
All right, Carolyn, by the way, excellent job, as always, on this. Thank you, I do appreciate it. Roll call, please.
Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corns?
Abstain.
Councilman DeCino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
And Councilman Rex.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. All right, number 3, please.
Ordinance number 2126-24, an ordinance amending Chapter 320, registration landlords of the Municipal Code of the Borough of Middlesex to clarify certain compliance dates.
Okay, motion for the public portion.
Motion, Mayor. Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, anyone wishing to step forward? Okay.
What was that number again? For the ordinance?
2126.
2126, the landlord registration.
Oh, I got something to say about that. My name is Gene Hennon, and I live in Boulevard, and I got this letter here last week, and it was pretty confusing. Because the last time I was here, we talked about this. I thought that that landlords that were, small landlords, not the big apartments like, Middlesex Village, would be notified when this was going to go and get, talked about. And then, so my question, so another question I have is that you're asking us to pay $150 per tenant by August 31st, 2024, and then later on down the line here, just telling you that you got to pay again by January.
Yeah, okay, they're not the dates.
That's what it says here.
Got the old
It
one.
says by
When it?
January 31st, beginning in 2025. That's 7 months. So what is this, every 6 months? And then you had the, I don't know, I guess it was approved May 28th, the day after a holiday, which I think was kind of funny to, affect so many people's livelihood and living conditions, because landlords are just going to pass it down to the tenants. And tenants are struggling now to make the payments, to make the rents, and you're going to hurt them even more with charging the $150 for what, every 6 months, or 7 months, or even a year. So, I don't know. I just don't think it's right for the landlords or the tenants in this town to be charged that much money. And then I can understand the inspections every 3 years. That's reasonable, because some people don't keep their houses up like I do. But I don't know. Some of my tenants I've had for 30 years. And now I'm going to have to raise their rent for this, and then every 3 years they're going to have to get their house inspected. And I'm not sure I understand what you're inspecting. You're inspecting like smoke detectors and things like that. They got a 10-year battery. So, once you put a new smoke detector in, then it's going to be good for 10 years, that battery. I don't see anybody taking their anti-tip stove out and selling it for scrap metal or anything else, that you might be, looking at. And I don't know. So I think that's about it, except for I think, I don't know. I just don't agree with that much raising the rents, and I don't agree with having to pay in 5 months again.
Okay, I take that on. The one thing you have to remember is that the rate for this year, it's an annual rate. So you're paying for 2024, and then you're going to pay for 2025. And there won't be one coming out, a second one in 2025. It won't show up till 2026. This is more of a timing issue to get it a little bit straightened out. To be quite honest, this process started almost 2 years ago and was messed up for 2023. It was, in our opinion, it was done incorrectly, so we decided to, let's reboot, let's restart, and get this right for 2024, and that's what we've done. And it's a fairly standard practice for most rental places and most people that have, in most boroughs. So that's what we did, we're just carrying it forward.
Yeah, I didn't realize that most boroughs pay that much annual fees.
More.
Registration.
Some of them pay more.
Well, I'm sure. Well, all right, I guess that's all I got to say, except for that, these rules and regulations that you were, infringing on landlords and tenants, on legal tenants. And there may not be this problem in this town, but there's a lot of squatters in other parts of the, New Jersey, where, your focus should be on that. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
William Vogt, 375 Lincoln Boulevard. To Gene's point, I think that he should be pushed to start in January and then have an annual after there, so it's not double hit within 5 to 6 months. That would be the preferred thing to do. Can you clarify that an owner-occupied unit does not pay the fee? Because the paperwork wasn't clear on that. Why would I pay as if I'm living in half of a two-family, that's my house? Why would I have to pay a fee on that?
We're going to have to check and get back to you on that one. I would, in my mind, I would think that the owner that's living in the house would not pay, and it's a rental unit, but let's just make sure, we may have to clarify the language on that, but that would be my interpretation of it, because it's not an apartment, it's my house.
Exactly. So I wanted to clarify that. When we were last time bringing up some points, I just think it would have been nice if somebody would have reached out to the average landlord to get, some of our input, and then you wouldn't have people there complaining about this. But at the point, I know last time somebody said, well, we pick $150 because that's what town work does. I just registered a 6-unit building in another town. $100 fee to register a 6-unit building. And then $25, that's to the state, $25 to the town. So that's about $40, where you guys want $150. The town doesn't do inspections, the state does every 5 to 7 years. So you guys are over and above on all of that. Seems like excessive stuff. And I again would like to know what exactly are they expecting for. We asked that last time, and we didn't get any answers on that today. That's my comment.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, at this point, I'd like to close the public portion. Make a motion? Second. All right, all in favor? Aye. All right, make a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second. All right, roll call, please.
Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corns?
No.
Councilman DeCino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
And Councilman Rex?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. All right, number 4, please.
Ordinance number 2128-24, an ordinance fixing and determining the salary range of certain officers and employees of the Borough of Middlesex.
Okay, motion to open the public portion.
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, anyone want to step forward? Okay, seeing no one wants to step forward, I'd like a motion to close the public portion.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Linda, if you would...
Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corns?
Yes.
Councilman DeCino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
And Councilman Rex?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, adoption of the minutes.
Okay, we have approval of the June 11th, 2024 regular and executive meeting minutes.
Motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, very good. Okay, let's move down. I'm going to give the mayor's report at the end, because I'm going to also do the administrator's report. So I'll do them both then. Actually, no, I'll do the mayor's report right now. Let me just start with, we had a loss in the town, for you guys that are here. I'd just like a quick moment of silence for Ed Benson. Thanks. Mike Conahan has some additional info. He's going to pass, when he does his report, he's going to talk about it. I have a few points that I would like to go down here, and I need a couple of quick consensuses, or at least one at any rate. It was a hot one. I'd like to thank Lenny, and actually everyone else has been outside dealing with the heat. You guys are doing a bang-up job. We weren't expecting rain the other day. We got enough to basically water the lawn again, which we're all turning brown, so they're going to be out cutting the grass again. Okay. Over the last couple of weeks, we did have a council debrief on the carnival. Basically, the police and the fire and the OEM all met. We discussed we're going to have a couple of more meetings about this. Everyone's interested in keeping the carnival going, but we do have to review, what is it going to take to make sure that everyone's safe? We're weighing, do we change the hours? Do we raise increase the fee and maybe reduce the ticket price for the rides? A lot of the considerations were, it was a pretty eye-opening for the people, the fire department, because one of the things that did happen is that they did not realize what was going on in the streets at that time, and there was a lot of action on the side streets. It kind of turned into a safety hazard because some of the people that were driving down the streets to pick up their children literally stopped in the middle of the street and were not moving. So there was a problem there, that we had a bunch of people that wound up running into some of the local businesses and waited for it to clear because they were afraid. The side streets with parking on both sides, God forbid there was a fire or anything like that, no emergency vehicles were getting around there. It was just totally blocked up. So we're probably going to have a couple more meetings and circle around on that, because the firemen offered some items that they want to see changed. The police offer some items that they would like to see changed. It's going to go a couple more gyrations before we find out where that one goes. One of the things I am looking for, and this is for tonight and for actually the future, I think we should actually have a consensus, because Victor the Rock Snake wants to come back. He is actually starting back. I think this is just to put it to bed. I don't think anyone's actually going to have a problem that it goes another round this year. But actually, I would like to just take a quick consensus and also put in the codicil that this consensus tonight means that we don't have to come back every single year and ask for the same thing. If there's a problem, we'll say something about it. But I just want to make sure. Is everyone okay with Victor the Rock Snake coming back? All right, we're good. Thank you. Okay. We also did have a meeting that I attended, was one of the Board of Health meeting. There's some questions going around. One of the things we're looking at is, do we stick with Middlesex? Do we go with Somerset? There's a lot of discussion happening, a shared service with Denellen. So they're basically not running out of time, but there's an impetus now to really get this pushed along, because by the end of the year, we have to be in the next spot. I'm sorry, Martin, if I took your spot about talking about this. I just so happened to show up.
You gave my report. Thank you.
It's one less thing, right? And it's going to be a good thing that Bob Scher is coming back. I think that's going to be a big help. John Ellery being there is actually help. I think, right now we have to turn up the heat because I think we're paying dearly for some of these services, and I personally don't think we're getting the service that we deserve out of it. One of the things that Mike Conahan, President Conahan, is going to talk about is that the pillars will be back in July. He's going to talk about that a little bit later. Obviously, the landlord registration is out, much to the chagrin of some of the landlords. you know, one of the things that Linda did send out, which is a note to a lot of the people that are on the committees and commissions, make sure you get your website updates in, make sure that, you know, you're following the rules and regs as far as, you know, posting your meetings and sending in the minutes and stuff like that, because that's all going to go on the website, and that's going to make life a lot easier for everybody concerned. If everyone was around, you saw that we actually had a podcast. The chief and I attended a podcast with Bill Spadia. It was about Middlesex Borough. I thought it was well received. It was seen in a positive light. One of the things that I did mention during that time was that I thought we were getting very poor in the terms of community support, in terms of things from the state, which actually turned out to be pretty interesting, because on Sunday I got an email saying we got $65,000 as a grant for Cook Field, you know, coming in. So I thought that was, timing is everything, and that was pretty timely. I'll have to thank them for that. The high school graduation was last week. It was a little warm for both of them. I think they did an excellent job. I think they were well received, and I think they were well run. The kids had no problem. And then, you know, congratulations to our salutatorians and valedictorians. I think they gave very nice speeches during that. And let me see. I'm covered. All right, that's it for the mayor's report. Council President Conahan.
Thank you, Mayor, and nice job at the graduation for the high school. It was very hot, and the mayor's speech was 2 minutes, or maybe not even. And it was very, very good, especially his opening line, which I'm not going to repeat here. But for tonight, I want to extend, the mayor mentioned it, my deepest condolences to the entire Benson family on the recent passing of Ed Benson. For those that did know, Ed spent most of his life in Middlesex, dedicated many, many hours volunteering in town, primarily on the zoning board, a board that's near and dear to me, where I got my start. Ed spent an incredible 26 years on the zoning board, with approximately 20 of those as chairman, which is just unprecedented. If you do some quick math, 2 meetings a year, it's you know, over 650 meetings in a lifetime. Again, it's just that's the kind of record that'll never get matched. Finally, some good news. The mayor mentioned it regarding grant awards. We received a $65,000 award designated for Cook Field Playground. I did want to mention that this will replace the approximate $55,000, roughly, right, Carolyn, for Heather Lane, which is what the borough put out. It was at least originally earmarked for the playground at Cook because of the sale of Daisy Park to the Army Corps. And we just found out $65 grand is coming back to us. Thanks to all those involved in securing that. I'm very pleased to announce our next pillar of Middlesex will go to Jim Grimm, July 23rd. That's our next council meeting at 7 p.m. For those that don't know, Jim is our longtime manager of our swim pool, community swim pool. He is celebrating his 41st year at the pool this year. Please come and support Jim on July 23rd. I think there'll be a lot of folks here for all that he's done for our pool. Thank you once again to our OEM and library for coordinating and hosting You Are the Help Until the Help Arrives. That is specialized training. They've done it for other groups in town, and this was designated for our summer camp counselors for recreation. Summer camp just started yesterday. The mayor mentioned our schools finished up this past Thursday. The Parks Committee is waiting for the Victor Crowell Park RFP process to end, and then Administrator LaPlace is on vacation tonight. He'll meet with the Parks Committee to review the proposals, and then we'll move forward. Upgrades to Mountain View Park, including new bathrooms and a new playground, as well as some other things like a senior fitness center, both of which are 30 years old. That'll start roughly in September. Last but not least, some highlights on our library. For those that don't know, our library offers tons of summer programming. I encourage everyone to check it out. It's on the library's website. So for adults, there was a workshop just last week to learn how to plant a butterfly garden. Upcoming, there's a Zoom paint and sip. These are very popular now on July the 8th from 7 to 8 p.m. on Zoom. We have many more programs for kids. So each week on Mondays, there's a toddler time, and there's also another family story time. Stage and Story, as well as Crafternoons, is every Tuesday. On Thursdays, there's Stage and Stories, Pause to Read with Clifford, and also there's Pajama Story Time on Zoom at 7 p.m. Marker Space happens every Friday. That's another program for kids. In addition to all those, they have special events for kids. They have an interactive movie. It's actually E.T. It's going to be on July 10th at 1. Balloon Twisting, July 18th, 12:30 to 2:15. The Magic of Conrad, it's a magic show, July 24th at 3 p.m. There's an international snack tasting on July 31st at 2 p.m. There's a Zoophoria animal show on August 7th at 1, and a stuffed animal camp library on August 14th at 5. All these special children events require registration prior, just the special events, not the weeklies. You can register quickly on the library website. There's no charge. Again, lots going on at the library, especially in the summer. We don't talk about it enough. And I am also happy to see Victor the Rock back in the park. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Okay, that's it, Mayor.
Okay, Councilman Carnes.
Thanks, Mayor. I do have a quick for the Culture and Arts Committee. They have started off with a pretty big boom. We received a $1,000 donation. Culture and a few other, and the Color and Flower Festival is going to be pushed off for 2024 because of communication of the date. So we're going to rebook 2025. So there's terrific communication, booking, and there's no overlapping programs or anything to that aspect. There is a new member that I emailed recently, Mr. James Johansson, that wishes to join again. That will bring the committee up to 6. And if anybody is looking to volunteer, this is a beautiful way to get involved with the committee. There's also, they're going to be working with the chairman, Mr. Franz, to get some murals going around town. One of the high school artists that actually helped create the logo for this whim is going to be participating in that, so that should be going on whenever they get around to moving on that. The film committee, I was trying to talk to a few people and to figure out what we need to do in order to get more attention to our beautiful community and the sites that we have. And definitely the new development that we're hearing in the parks is definitely going to be an amazing film opportunity to get it when people decide to come in. So we're going to work on that. Disabled to Senior Services. Melissa is amazing. She's operating full skill, and she's rocking and rolling. Administration, I'm not too sure what's going on between me being sick and Mr. LaPlace being on vacation. I have not had a full conversation with him. My child isn't for recreation. My child is involved in Happy Campers, and Christine is doing an amazing job. That's rocking and rolling as well. I'm excited to hear that Mr. Grimm is going to be a good filler. He is always a good person to see at the pool. That's it.
All right, thank you. Councilman Doty.
Yeah, Mayor, I have a couple reports. Let's start with the shade tree. Wendy just gave me the minutes. I'm sure she can get them to everybody if you need them. They gave a spring planning update, Chairman Baum did, and he listed on here 21 trees so far. I know they didn't have full budgetary money yet, so now that it's there, they can move forward. And they've been working with the DPW, who's been doing the planting on all of these. So Lenny is coming in, it's in September, and they're going to have a meeting to review how the plantings have been going and correct species. Because sometimes the DPW gets stuff, so he can coordinate with them what he would like them, Lenny to get if he has an opportunity to get on that. The tree inventory QPA, they didn't receive any bids, it went back out. Again,
Yeah, it's going to open, I think, it might be the 23rd
Yeah.
of July.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on to police. We'll be next.
on my right page here. Bear with me. May, 1,960 calls for service, 13 adult arrests, 412 summonses, motor vehicle summonses, 56 radar summonses, 33 motor vehicle crashes they responded to. This doesn't include people that they pulled over, not necessarily didn't get a summons. Just say, hey, slow down, pay attention, you're on the phone. They've been doing these safety programs throughout the year. We've gotten money for that from the state to step up this enforcement. Distracted driving is a big thing that they're trying, I know everybody's trying to cut down on. The Detective Bureau, got a couple things in here. This was always so huge from them. They had aggravated assault there for May, simple assault. You see 6 thefts, and there was 2 motor vehicle thefts. And I don't know where they are in the investigations, but they're being investigated currently for that. We also had 2 new officers just start. Just got out of the academy. They're being trained. I know there was some issue with the trainers because they had one of the trainers was going out on some medical leave, so he's been juggling around the schedule, but as far as I know, it's been going smoothly. He's juggled the people around to get them trained so they get up to snuff and they can get out on their own. OEM, we'll do really quick next. They are doing their cadet program again. There was 3 cadets coming in with their parents tonight to sign up for it. I believe they have 4 or 5 right now, something like that. Barbara, Vince, I don't know how she does it. She gets people in that door.
She's amazing.
It's incredible what she does. The curriculum for what Mike mentioned, the training for the counselors, she went to them and had that done specifically for the counselors. So it was like teenagers and younger kids. She had them do that particular training, specifically for younger kids, so that the counselors knew what to do. It wasn't just a broad, some of it was broad, but it focused on the teenagers being able to be the first ones there and help the kids. That I do know. She worked hard on that too. Fire department. There was the chief's report. He wants to mention a couple things. May 15th, there's a contractor working on Giles Avenue, and the water line in the home was electrically charged, they found out. There was a minor smoke condition. They called PSC&G, had it saved off. 23rd, Hazelwood Avenue, there was moderate smoke condition in their basement. They located a melted pump in the basement, the power was secured, and the basement was ventilated for them. They had 8 members of the Middlesex Fire Department attend a 16-hour swiftwater operations class the weekend May 4th, so that they can become members of the Middlesex Fire Department and Middlesex County Swiftwater Rescue Teams, which is important. When we have floods, we may need people to be rescued. They also attended a department extrication drill on May 8th behind Beechwood Firehouse. They used a vehicle that was donated by a member of the fire department to cut it into pieces. Just don't pick it out too long ago. It's a bunch of pieces. They had, in May, 32 calls total, which is a good thing when it's going down for them. That means things are quiet. They had a mulch fire. They had 3 motor vehicle accidents with no injuries they responded to. They had an electrical issue that they responded to. They had 4 authorized control burning, I guess areas that they burned, control burns they did, small areas. And they had 14 alarm system activations, no fire, unintentional. They've been keeping track of that pretty close so that it doesn't get out of control. I have one more thing, and that is the courts report. We're already sent over for May. There was 417 tickets. There was 386 of those were moving violations, 9 DWIs, 6 criminal complaints, 6 local ordinance violations, 5 were zoning. New business, there was 3 court sessions. They did a total of 210 defendants, 118 cases were disposed of during court. Total assessed fines were $40,999.26. The borough portion for this month, for that month, was $21,639.68. I know they were having a problem with the payment system, and I think they were working on that. Hopefully they got it straightened up the other day. I saw her send an email out, and hopefully it's back going. I haven't heard, so apparently it's going. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, well, Bobby, I skipped over you by mistake, so
That's why I was a little surprised.
took you by, that's all right, keep me on your toes.
So as far as J-Love, last meeting was canceled because of no applications. There is one tomorrow. We have one application for duplex on, I think that's Hawthorne there. The Environmental Commission, they had a couple things going on. Last night they had a meeting. I wasn't able to attend. They're trying to form a green team. I don't know how many members. I haven't talked to Claire today about it, but that's a big thing. They're also installing a rain forest behind the library. That's grant money from Rutgers. That's moving along, so that's a good thing. What else do I have here? Okay, as far as DPW, there was a little issue with the Juneteenth when garbage was going to be picked up. There was a lot on social media. It wasn't on the website. I know I talked to Lenny today, and him and Linda, they got it back on schedule, so that will be taken care of in the future, that holiday, so we know.
Okay.
That's the thing. Also, some of the DPW stuff, the fence finally was installed at the girls softball and boys baseball field park, which is a good thing. The DPW helped remove the old fence with the contractor to save us some money. Also, they did the project graduation concrete where all the kids assigned their names again this year. They also did some concrete work here at Borough Hall on the side prior to all the stuff that's going to go on with the parking lot. They're going to resurface that this week at the entrance for construction on that side.
Yeah.
They've also been power washing. They power washed Borough Hall, the recreation, police, library building, playgrounds, benches, and stuff in the parks as well. As far as the trees that Kevin was talking about, and non-rain, they put gator bags in all those trees, so they keep up with the bags and keep those trees watered. So they also have a lot of issues with roots in the sewers. They got a new jetback, and they've also got a new root cutter. So they had some training on it yesterday. Some more guys, because I think it does the damage if you don't know what you're doing in the sewers. They did that yesterday. But that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, and I seem, like I said, Lenny's been out there, Admiral Lenny has been out there on the lake a few times, so, he's...
The Navy.
With the Navy, he's been out there, it's scooping up a lot of stuff, though.
So they pushed about 20 yards.
Yeah, I saw it. Okay, Councilman Quinn.
You covered most of what I was going to report on.
Well, that was a big one.
But I would like to add to that we do now know that the county has received the current contract we have for the parish. So hopefully we hear back from them soon.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
All right, maybe. Councilman Rex?
I don't have anything this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Okay, Michael, before he left me the administrator's report. I'm just going to read it as it's written. Earlier this evening was a hearing of the Middlesex Borough 2024 Capital Plan. A sincere thank you to Chief Financial Officer Callan Benson for her fine work on the plan and for coordinating all the requests from the departments as well as addressing questions from the mayor and council. All right, introduced on June 11th and set for a hearing on July 23rd is the proposed rezoning of surplus municipal property, Block 306, Lot 17, a parcel of land on the northwesterly corner of West Pershing and Madison Avenues. The borough intends to rezone the site from municipal to R50, one-family residential, in order to sell the land for residential development. During the agenda workshop this evening, the proposed tree ordinance mandated by the state DEP will be discussed. Staff is looking to clarify the specific issues that the Department of Environmental Protection has within our current shade tree ordinance in advance of the upcoming council discussion on this matter. It has been suggested that the ordinance be revised as little as possible, so we will be considering the minimal changes required for us to conform to the DEP. An amendment to the massage ordinance will also be discussed during tonight's workshop session. Council resolutions on the agenda this evening include approvals for various property owner sewer fee appeals and waivers. the approval of the members of this summer's recreation playground staff, and the approval for advancement of Middlesex Police Department officers April Mendito and Christian Doolin. Concerning the Boundbrook Road Route 28 Streetscape Beautification Project, PSE&G wiring is complete for all the fixture, and one of the new street lights will be replaced after being damaged by a car. 2 weeks it made it. All right, executive session this evening will involve the discussion of real estate located at 1190 Mountain Avenue and litigation regarding Creighton Lake. And that was all he had for his report. There you go, Linda. Okay, moving down. Privilege of the floor. All right, at this time, I'd like a motion to open the public portion.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Please come up, state your name and address, please.
Hi, Anne Marie Clyburn, 116 Chestnut. I would like to thank the mayor and council for clearing the pathway for Victor the Rock Snake to go on every year. Victor is currently in Victor Crowell Park at the moment, but we are looking at another spot for him to take up residency this summer. This way the DPW can keep parks beautiful as they always do. It'll be out of their way so they can clear grass and do whatever they have to do. But thank you very much for granting that to Victor.
Okay, thank you. Maybe putting it right on the edge of the macadam might be an answer. I mean, they don't drive there, so.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor Council. Michelle Takash, 149 Menard Place, Middlesex, New Jersey. I'm one of those people who comes up to talk and forgets 90% of what I want to say by the time I get to my seat, so I wrote it down. Not real long, but I'm going to read from here. So, after the last meeting, I received a telephone call from someone who advised me that the borough was in the process of adding 2 pictures to the wall of mayors. While I completely agree with Mayor Madden should be added to the wall as soon as possible, I have to express my concern about adding the ex-mayor on the mirror. I am respectfully requesting that the council reconsider adding him. While I realize this is part of Middlesex history, I don't believe he deserves to be added to the wall, as he is a complete embarrassment to the borough and a convicted felon who went to jail because of the incidents involved in the borough. He stole from the citizens and the Children's Scholarship Fund. He was dishonest and conducted his business right from the very office where he took a sworn oath to protect and work for the people of Middlesex. I don't believe he deserves the honor and respect of all the men on that wall today. Many of us look at that wall and can think of something good each one of those men did to contribute to the history of Middlesex Borough. And when you get to the mirror, the one and only thing people will talk about will be that he was a convicted felon who went to jail because he stole from the people of Middlesex. Not to mention single-handedly destroying the Democratic Party. If it is a matter of having a picture on the wall to fill in the missing years, I would make a suggestion that Kathy Anella be added as borough clerk, as she was the one running the borough, honestly, while he was deceiving the people. Again, I thank you for listening and hope you can reconsider your picture.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Spencer, 172 Misty Lane, Middlesex, New Jersey. Unlike Michelle, I talk. But she basically said everything. For most of you who know me, I was born and raised a diehard Democrat, like in town. And personally, as well as politically, Mr. Zadora, partook in a lot of activities throughout the years, and I know him personally. However, what he is supposed to represent is not what Middlesex is all about. Middlesex Borough is unified. We come, even though we may be on different political sides, we all come together and we do what's in the best interest of our children, the residents, and so on and so forth. And I believe that by displaying his picture on the wall portrays to children that, he's somewhat of not a hero per se, but something as them. So with that being said, I feel that
it would really be a disgrace for our town to display a mayor who wasn't even able to continue his mayorship. He was arrested prior to finishing his term. And I feel that there should be something there displayed of someone or even an event that has occurred that was good for the town in place of that, because we don't want to really give recognition to somebody who really is they didn't do what they were supposed to do. And I just feel that if we do that, it's just showing the youth of today that it's okay. You know, you can be excused from doing something not only to the children, but also to fellow citizens that you reside with as one of your neighbors. And I just feel that it would really hold heavy on my heart if the mayor and council did approve of that. I think that maybe we could, do something else in lieu of that, just so we can keep Middlesex united as one and show basically good sportsmanship and to be awarded for things that you've done for the good and not, things that you have done to hurt other people.
All right, thank you.
So that's it. But thank you.
Hi, Christy Takaj, live at 149 Bernard Place. I'm just going to add one thing. I just think that us putting that up there, honestly, it's like negative reinforcement. Like, what does that say to, like, future mayors, anyone like that? If they're going to see his picture up there and know that any kind of, like, bad behavior like that will still get him recognition, like, what does that really say to them? Honestly, like, this might be out of line, but, like, you don't go to Germany and see, like, pictures of Hitler around, like, no one sees that, like, you don't get recognition for bad things, and I think that speaks a lot about us if we do that. That's it.
Thank you. Are you going to mention that subject also, Dave? No. Okay. All right. Just for you guys, we never really firmed it up. We just said what we were going to do. If you guys wouldn't mind at least sending to me what your opinions are on the subject, so this way maybe we can come up with some type of thing that we could address somewhere down the road. Besides, we give John another chance to get like a better picture.
Thank you. Dave Polakevich, 240 Hazelwood. I wanted to ask about Resolution 185, 2024, that I see on the agenda, regarding the waiving of sewer charges. Everybody's favorite topic, I'm sure. It doesn't list on the resolution, like, who's getting, it doesn't list the name of the property owner, so I took the liberty of looking at some of the block and lot numbers. And I noticed that, if I'm correct, Hampton Gardens is getting $44,000 plus. Is this a fee waiver? And why is this going on? And I also, there was a list, a whole series of reductions or waivers or whatever for Block 204, Lot 1, which I believe is Middlesex Village, and I totaled them all up, and that comes to like $80,000. Can you tell me why they and the other property owners listed on this resolution are getting these reductions?
Well, I'm not 100% sure on all of them, Dave, but I know a lot of them do come in, and what they do is that they are able to verify or pools, sprinkler systems, that type of thing where it just bumps the number way up. I mean, I know I had a year where I had a hole in the pool and 23,000 gallons went right out the door in a night. So, that bumped mine up for that year. And I believe also on the larger apartment complexes, it went back with there was something that happened with their taxes.
I know they changed the ordinance. This is mostly the tax collector and the engineer who work on this. I know they changed the ordinance, and it has to do with the number of meters, and that somehow affected the apartment complexes. We used to do it by unit, or it's not really my forte there. So, but yeah, it's something that would have been reviewed by the tax collector and the engineer, because if they request an appeal, it has to go to the engineer for review, and the engineer would be the one who would decide if the criteria to be waived or reduced.
Okay,
But my question is, and I could be wrong about this, and that's why I ask questions here, because sometimes I am wrong, and I'd like to try to get the right information. But block 204, lot 1, Middlesex Village Apartments, somebody, somewhere, thought that they should be billed close to $81,000. Now they're getting no charge. That's my interpretation of this. Who thought they should have been charged $81,000? And who made the decision that they get nothing, no charge? And who makes up the difference? Because I got to believe that whatever was reduced out of that apartment complex got treated, and someone paid for that to happen. And I'm guessing it's the people in the audience that paid for it. So can you explain a little bit about,
It's 204, what, Dave?
What's that?
It's 204.
It looked like 204, block 204, lot 1. I looked that up online, and that was Middlesex Village Apartments. There's actually 9 listings for that block.
Right.
So I'm guessing that's after each of the buildings over there.
Yeah, I would believe that. We're going to have to get back to you, Dave, because I'd rather not just guess. I'd rather find out what the answer is and give you, and get back to you with what it is.
Okay, well,
I don't know 100%, so.
I think you guys should always give, if you're not sure, kind of get back, but does this mean the resolution is going to be tabled, or is it going to be approved tonight? Because if you don't know what you're voting on, you shouldn't be voting on it.
Dave, we're going to approve we're going to vote on this tonight, because if it needs to be adjusted, we'll adjust it. But I would have to tend to believe that at this point, that the proper due diligence has been done. I just don't happen to know the right answer.
Okay. I mean, that's stupefying to me that you guys would acknowledge you don't have information. That's okay. But to say we're going to just wipe these fees clean and not know why, and not know who came up with this original figure and why it's wrong, I mean, and you're just going to, because again, Mr. Mayor, this $81,000, if it's not being paid by Middlesex Village Apartments and all the other ones that are listed in this resolution, somebody is paying for that. And if it's not them, then it's me and all the other people in this audience. So I would think, putting it off for 1 month and getting to the bottom of this is not that much of a hardship for these property owners.
Good with that, Jay.
All right, we'll table it.
Thank you.
Two quick things that John and 39 Ramsey Road. First of all, Eddie Benson, I got to tell you, his participation on the planning board before I got involved on the council, it was tremendous boost for this town. He and my wife worked together in mortgages in Dayton, New Jersey, and I know as of probably, I don't know, a year and a half ago, he wanted to be considered to be on the J-Lo, and the timing wasn't there as far as I'm concerned. So I feel bad for him, so Godspeed. Number 2, I have to thank Lenny, the DPW, not only the garbage detail, but everybody who worked in that grueling heat and humidity. I mean, that was just awful. So they deserve to hear from all the residents that they did such a good job. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
All right, anyone else? Okay. All right. Motion to close the public portion?
Motion.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Linda, let's go. New business consent agenda.
We have Resolution 184, 2024, acceptance of standing reports. Resolution 185, 2024, authorizing waived adjusted sewer charges for various properties. Resolution 186, 2024, approval of the 2024 sewer billing waived appeals for various properties. Resolution 187, 2024, authorizing the tax collector to issue tax title lien redemptions for Block 362.01, Lot 1. Resolution 188, 2024, approval of summer playground staff for 2024. Resolution 189, 2024, authorizing reimbursement of Medicare premiums for certain eligible pensioners under Chapter 3, Public Law 1973, New Jersey Health Benefits Plan. Resolution 190, 2024, approval to advance police officer April Mendito to police officer Class H at an annual salary of $69,130, effective July 13, 2024. Resolution 191, 2024, approval to advance police officer Christian Doolin to police officer Class H at an annual salary of $69,130, effective July 13, 2024. Resolution 192, 2024, acknowledging the change in status for certain properties under the Senior Citizens, Disabled Persons, Veterans Tax Deductions for Block 302, Lot 29.
Okay, at this point, I'd like a motion to table Resolution 185
6. Oh, sorry. Both.
and 86, okay.
185 and 186.
185 and 186.
Motion?
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corns?
Yes.
Councilman Decino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Rex?
Yes. All right, very good. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve all the remaining? Does anyone want to pull any of the other ones, or are we good? Okay.
Motion?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corns?
Yes.
Councilman Decino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
And Councilman Rex?
Yes. All right, very good. All right, non-consent agenda?
Okay, we have Resolution 193, 2024, payroll claims.
Motion?
Motion, second. All right, any discussion on these? Okay, call the roll.
$12,000 playground.
What was that?
There's a 12,000 mark for the playground. I was just wondering like what piece of the playground that was for in the claims. Usually I talk to Michelle Blake, but that didn't happen.
Let's see where you're at here.
This is the same as the red folder, so my brain's not twisted up, right?
Yeah. What page you on there, Jeremiah?
I looked at it on the red folder too.
You did already?
Yeah, I didn't sign this right here.
So you good with it?
$12,000 for Remington Verdict Mountain View Park Playground, which playground, $12,000 for 340.
Carolyn was just left too. Darn. She would know what that is. I think, isn't that the bathrooms? I don't know that one off the top of my head. I thought it was for the bathrooms.
I mean, if you want to keep that out, we can keep one out. And approve those for that remove. If you want to do it that way, we've done it.
You want to pull that one out?
I don't really see it here.
Yeah, I gotta find, hang on one second, Jeremiah. I'm just looking on this list to try and
Maybe it's
find
not
it.
on the red folder. I see it in this one. Maybe if you see it on the red
Hey,
folder, maybe it's...
Just give me 1 second.
What's on the red folder? It's on the, like, the first
Oh, it's on
first
this.
item, yeah.
Here.
Let me see.
Further down.
Let's just see if this lines up with this. 12,340, hang on. She might be, this may be for the, it's not here.
Okay. So don't sign that.
Right, this is not the bill list that's in here.
Yeah, this
That's
is what
why.
was approved, I think,
So we don't
last
sign
meeting.
that, but we're okay for this.
Okay. Yeah, so approval of the bill
Wait,
list.
everyone
That-
already signed it.
Everyone has to sign that, then it gets to here.
Yeah, next meeting.
That's for next meeting.
Track. Thank you.
All right. Because up on top, the date's different. It took a minute to figure that one out, because I was trying to figure out what you were looking at.
Okay.
All right?
So we still don't know what we're currently signing for is for.
You don't sign it, just ask.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so let's stop. Where are you at now, Jeremiah?
I'm good, all I'm saying for now, sir.
Okay. All right, so
We have a motion second.
we have a motion and a second. We've got stopped on the discussion, roll call.
Ready? Roll call.
Roll call.
Okay. Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corns? Councilman Decino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
And Councilman Rex?
Yes.
All right, very good. Okay. Agenda workshop. We have 2 items tonight. We have the massage ordinance amendment, which basically, if you guys,
I have two bullets if you want me to.
you want to read the bullets? Yeah,
If you
sure.
want me to.
Yeah.
Okay, Attorney Corsini looked at this ordinance and amended it. We had a meeting with the police department, and they made some minor amendments, and it's put in a rough draft to introduce potentially, if everyone agrees to it, at the next meeting. If you looked at the ordinance that was submitted to the council, the additions or minor additions that were added were proof of incorporated documentation has to be included in the application. The owner that owns this massage parlor basically must be a licensed masseuse, a therapist in the state of New Jersey. It clarifies that specific documentation to provide identity, which includes age and residence. They're asking for certain documentation to prove it. The therapist must provide a New Jersey licensure certificate and be fingerprinted each year by the police department. And the police department will now be included in the initial application for this license and in the approval process for a renewal of a massage license, the annual renewal of this license. And the police department will also conduct inspections of each establishment not less than twice a year. So this is what's been changed, or minor changes, just to incorporate a little bit more of items that the police department wanted in the ordinance.
Right, and I read through the ordinance, and basically it's exactly what you're just tightening up on who it is and making sure they have the proper licensure, and it's basically replicated in several spots along here just to make sure there's no loopholes.
Yep.
That's basically what it comes down to with this.
So,
Do we have a consensus to move forward on this for the next meeting?
Yes.
Consensus? You guys? Jeremiah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so that'll be on the July 23rd meeting for introduction.
All right.
Okay.
Now, the second one is the world-famous tree ordinance. All right?
Okay, Chris, do you want to speak on that, or do you want?
Just that we obviously took the feedback of the council and made the amendments as minimal as possible. It is awfully close to the original ordinance that was submitted to you because that ordinance contained the minimum amendment. The only amendment that is not a direct requirement of the DEP is the measurement for trees, which you find later in the ordinance. In a second, I'll tell you exactly the measurement. That we think is it's the 4 to 8 inches in section 4. While that is not strictly required by the DEP, the best we can guess on why it was in there, some of the recommended language, is that it makes the tree easier to measure, and it's a more standardized measurement for the DBH, the diameter, breast height, as opposed to the prior measurement. It's not required. It just happened to be in recommended language that the DEP sent out. The rest of the language is required.
So the 4 inches is required?
It is not. It is not required. That was put in the ordinance because the DEP had circulated a model ordinance, and that language was in the model ordinance. I discussed this with Linda. We left it in. You guys can go to 4 if you want. We tried to figure out why they did it because it's in there, so they must have had a reason. And the best reason that we could come up with was when you switch from the DBA, the initial measurement, which is your DPM, to DBH, that the corresponding measurement to the measurement becomes more relevant. If that makes sense. So we don't have a strong opinion on keeping it, but we did. We talked about it and I chatted. We left it in. So, but you guys can take that if you want.
Well, it's a measurement of where you're measuring the tree from. But the 8 inches down to 4. So we can make that. We could keep that 8 if we want. Correct.
So I don't know if that changes with the so the DBH is diameter of breast height. That's the new metric that's being used in terms of where to measure from. Again, I am not an arborist. You have a very good arborist that you could talk to. The diameter at point of measurement, if you look in section 1, was the old measurement kind of metric. You'll see the difference of them. I do not purport to be someone who knows about arborist, the arborist profession. We could go down to 4. I don't know if that creates a problem later. It's not required by DEP, which leads me to believe that maybe it won't. It's outside my expertise specifically.
So if we want, we could leave it
Yeah,
as
answer the question,
the lower limit at 8 inches
Yeah.
rather than 4.
Yep. Yes.
You know, I mean,
I very specifically asked our staff that question. And they said-
I mean, to me, I'd rather keep it as
At 8.
at 8.
But the only caveat to that would be, I can't tell you from an arborist perspective what impact that would have.
Well, it just means it's a lot bigger tree.
So I would, I don't, presumably, I mean, intuitively, yes, Mayor. I would say if you wanted to introduce it, you could talk to your arborist. If anyone is concerned about it, right, you can just talk to your arborist. You can keep it the way it is, and then if he has a concern, you could have.
Well, the thing is, if you have, like some of these properties, I mean, you can have a tree get up to 4 inches in diameter in less than a year, and next thing you know, that pops up as, it just shows up in your yard if you have and you go to take the thing out, and now all of a sudden you're looking to replace it with 4 trees and all the rest of it. I mean, 8 inches, is just, that's 8 inches right there. It's an established tree.
The measurement is up to you guys. Whatever you want to do, Linda will do. Right, Linda? We talked about
I mean, I'm for 8. That's just my thing. But what I also don't see in here is that, and I was looking for it, is that it doesn't specifically say that non-shade tree designated trees, if it's dead, are not subject for replacement. I thought that was a part of what was there. If it was a dead tree, you did not have to replace it.
So you guys asked for the minimal that the DP required.
Right.
That would be more than the DP required. We can add that because it helps the resident, if you want, Mayor.
Well, we want to help the residents.
Oh, I agree, but that wasn't the instruction we had.
No, that's okay, I get
So
that.
if that's feedback-
I saw it and I looked at it and I was like, well, where did this go? Because, I mean, some guy, say you have a thing where, what was it, and I don't remember, what was it, the boar beetle or something came through? The ash borer, and took out a whole bunch of trees. Well, if you're some guy who has a whole bunch of these trees on your property, and next thing you know, 5 or 6 of them get taken out through no fault of your own, all of a sudden someone says you have to put 50 trees at $500 a pop on your yard.
Disease things was mentioned in there, like it was a disease tree.
But it doesn't say it here. And it didn't say anything about dead trees.
So it's not in the amendments as presented. I can do a quick check to see if it's in the ordinance in a section that was amended. Happy to do that.
Yeah, I was kind of reading, I saw diseased, I did think I saw that, but that was specifically for shade trees. It didn't say all trees. And it also didn't mention if it was dead. And that was something that we all talked about. If it was a dead tree, you don't have to replace it. There's no fee, no permit, no nothing. You
This
could
is
just,
something the environmental commission is hot on.
Yeah.
They don't want the minimum, they want the maximum.
You guys decide.
No.
It's up to us, obviously.
You guys decide.
well, it is up to us, and we're trying to come up with something that's practical, because, at the same time, I mean, who's gonna, no one wants to pay fees, no one wants to do anything. Who's gonna go run around looking to see some guy who took down a 4-inch tree in the middle of his backyard? Then, who's gonna be running through all his backyards?
Said that nothing for the homeowner was on their property.
Shade.
So we're
It was
going-
only shade trees. Now we're going for every
Yeah,
tree,
I
period.
know, and this is the
all we have.
point.
Yeah.
You gotta do something to still try to protect the homeowners,
Correct.
So we don't need to go crazy either. It's been a discussion at the Shade Tree Commission meetings, it's a tough one. The state wants to include everybody,
Right.
irregardless.
There's no choice.
Even if it's in your backyard.
Yes,
anyway.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's fine.
It's not something you guys want to do, by any,
Our thing is that if it's a dead tree, and I mean,
Well, 'cause
if it was in my backyard, I wouldn't want to have someone come chasing me for a tree that's this big. If
I
it's this
thought-
big, that's something else.
I thought the language originally had, if it was dead, the inspecting authority can come in and say, yes, it's dead,
And
there's
that
no
was
fee,
the-
and there's no fee.
Right. But it doesn't say that now. It sort of was there and now it's gone.
I mean, in the original...
I remember, that's what I was looking for. I didn't see it in this.
Yeah, way back when we first started talking about
Right.
the language.
If it was a dead tree, It would just, you could take it down,
But the home, it's not up to the homeowners, they always dead, look. you
some
know,
guy had to come in and say,
and
it's
say
dead.
yes. Whether it's the code enforcer,
Yeah, my question,
shade
Mayor,
tree.
was, it
Who's gonna
says
do it, yeah.
enforcement official.
Yeah.
I get that, is
Who's
that,
enforcing it?
are we gonna determine that tonight?
Do we have to designate an enforcement?
Well, it said
Well,
I mean,
it's
it says it in there, I
enforcement.
think.
Do you have to like say the
that could be-
enforcement, like a definition, say
I think
the...
it could be administrative. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I mean, you could put it in ordinance, but you could also do it administratively. Either is fine.
I think whoever it is, to Chris's point, I think they have to have the training. I think if it's Tyler, he has to go to a class. If he has no background in trees.
Yeah, you gotta know
If
how to
it's Michael,
identify
he
a
has
dead
to go
tree.
to a class, because I don't know if he has a background in trees. Somebody has to have a background, some minimal training. How do they determine if a tree is alive or, you know? I just think we need internally to know that.
Now, what about, it asks for, you're supposed to have a permit for any tree that you're gonna yank down. Now, does that, but we're questioning, you know, do we wanna have a permit fee? I think a lot of people don't wanna
We
have.
were told not to do fees.
Original-
We changed
yeah,
our fees.
Yeah, and it's like, if you look in the original tree ordinance, section 395, this is what the original one, it says, fees, no fee shall be required for issuance of a shade tree permit. So that's what's in there.
That's for shade tree, but this is not a shade tree permit.
It's,
No, we modeled the check after. we made
I get it, but it says shade tree and a tree now are two different things.
We were talking about, I know in the shade tree commission was, no fee for the permit.
Right.
Okay. And then the money going in potentially to the replenishment fund.
Right,
Instead of planting a tree on your property, you're putting up a deck.
right.
Okay, but you can pay in, like they do with shade trees, take it down illegally, you pay into the fund to have the tree replaced.
Right. No, I get that. I understand.
Talking about that.
But do we have to specify shade tree, or we just say there's no permit for removing a tree?
I guess they're all considered shade trees now, whether they're on private property or public.
I think-
Because of the way the law, the state wants the law written.
So I think that's a great point, Councilman Doty. I think that in the absence of the mentioning of a fee for a non-shade tree, assuming that there are non-shade trees, I think that you don't need to have that. I think that its absence says it's zero.
It's zero. That's fine.
Yeah, that's my view, and I
The
think
state
that-
basically said even if it's on private property, it's a shade tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a valid point that Kevin brings up, and also even if they hadn't given that
That's what
guidance.
it sounds like to me.
Yeah, even if they hadn't given that guidance, they still think it'd be no. I think you're good.
It's just, I think it's implied, what they're doing.
Nope.
But Kevin, either...
And he agrees, so that's good. That's
With our
two.
shade trees, there's no permit fees, and with our non-shade trees, there'll be no permit fees.
Yeah, you were saying no.
So there's no permit fees?
No permit fees,
No,
they're a tree.
But you can either replace, then you can replace the tree if you would like,
And that's, yeah.
when you're on, or you pay into the fund.
it's
So
already...
that the tree can be put somewhere that, we have plenty of space that we
Somewhere
want to
else.
put trees on.
Yep.
Right.
And I also, that was the other thing I forgot to mention in there. I told them to keep an eye on what it costs. Because right now we're doing $400 for a tree. I'm not a commission as we go forward. Because the trees start going up and costing more, we have to raise the fee to put the tree back in, someplace else.
For the
So they're going to
replacement.
keep an eye on when they go out, for their, tree inventory. If the prices will go up like everything in this world does out of nowhere, next year if they go out and the trees double, we got to look at what we're getting for the fund.
I think in here you actually almost have to specify
Well, we do.
the annual replacement fee.
We may have to revisit it just to change the number if trees are going up.
Right, but do you include that in this?
It's not required. That was our,
That's okay, I'm just saying, but
I don't think that, certainly that language could be expanded upon if the council desires.
so, all right, so at this point, what we're talking about, just so I know, the 4 becomes 8, right? We're going back to 8. We're not reducing it to 4,
David,
all right? And there's,
Can we increase that?
huh?
Can we increase that beyond 8?
I don't, I think I
Hey,
probably,
listen, if you want to make it 12, I'm happy with that too.
that's probably a baseline,
then you have to pay the cost of the 12 trees to replenish. How much is that?
Well, that's
Yeah,
not-
but anything,
But
if you,
anything less than that, you don't.
anything less than that just disappears.
Forever.
Yeah.
So anything bigger than a 12 inch, there's no fee to the homeowner at all. So the government.
No,
it's not-
no. Anything 12 inch and bigger would go by the replacement tree schedule that they have.
Yeah, we'd have to check that. I
That's
would
what
think,
I'm asking. What is that cost for 12 inch and bigger? Is that more
Well,
extraordinary?
you won't put a 12-inch tree. You'll
It's,
put that
4
on the
trees.
door.
You gotta
That could
put
be written in
volume.
there, 4 trees.
It's right in there, yeah.
volume.
Okay.
We'd have to go back and check, Councilman Quinn, if there are any applicability, permissibility, pardon me, for 10 inches, let's say. I mean, we're looking to eliminate the whole quartile.
I didn't know.
So that's in there, 395.
Yeah, this was not removed, he didn't amend this. It says that then these trees that determined the borough enforcement officers shall not include as trees to be replaced.
Okay,
So
so
we
we don't need that.
We never
That
touched
wasn't
that.
touched, so that's still in there.
We never touched
So that's good.
Yeah, all right.
So we're down to the 8 inches.
So,
8 inches is
as I was saying,
our-
we could check to see if we could push it beyond 8. 8 is in your ordinance now. I mean, how low do you want to go? High do you want to go?
All right, guys.
I don't know if we could go much higher. I mean, can you remove that whole quartile? I don't know. We'd have to look at that. I don't really have any guidance for that.
All right, so at this point, let's just go through this real quick, just so, make sure. The first quartile, the first thing that's here, we want to go as large as possible, right? That they would mandate us to do, you know, so we want to go as big. As far as everything else, the language regarding the dead tree is in there, it's in a different section. Right, it wasn't here.
No
We
fee for the permit.
we talked about, you said the language was good with the no need for the permit.
Yep.
So basically, as this sits right now, with the exception of that first measurement, this thing is good to go.
I mean, only because we have no choice.
Well, yeah, I agree.
That
But
was
so,
our mandate.
right, which is fine, we've done that, but so, for right now, it's a minimum of 8, we're gonna see where we can go. However, we want to get this on for July, right? We're almost mandated to do that, so at this point, we don't have to come back to this, with the exception of, you're gonna find out for us
yeah.
what the first quartile has to be, and that's where we're gonna go.
Yep.
And it'll be done via email, with a consensus back to you, and then whatever that is, we can still get this going for
I could do
July.
that. I could also just put in whatever it is.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, if you want. I mean, that way we could just get it to Linda and...
Well, she's
I'll let everyone
when
know
you
what
get
it
it,
is.
you
I'll
let
let
us
it-
know
yeah.
what it is.
We'll-
We'd rather know before you go crazy, just let us know what the number is.
Shortly, it's just been finished.
Okay.
Okay, Linda, are you square?
Kind of. Yeah, well, no, I just one other question, Chris, is that this was eliminated also.
Sure.
What's that?
This is where we made the changes, but this section
then-
here is eliminated, it seems, within the ordinance, that line. Not the one I wrote, it's the one above it. Is that, it's not in that amendment?
Yeah, that would just not be changed. If you prefer for clarity, we can include that language, but unless it's struck through, which isn't, its lack of being included doesn't change.
Okay.
The code book people would just leave it. So,
Okay.
But I can put it, I mean,
Got
for clarity's purpose, if you would like to include that.
Because, yeah, because you said to amend it.
Hold on, pardon, I apologize.
Okay, I'll just add it, I can add it in there. I'll add that line back if it's okay, it's just eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, either is fine, Linda. I mean,
Okay.
put it back.
Okay. Okay.
All right,
Got it.
so Linda, you're square?
Yeah.
Everybody else, good? Good?
Yes.
Good?
Chris, you're gonna get the numbers from me?
Yeah, we'll have that, we'll not take
He's
it.
gonna get, all right. So at this point, we're gonna move to the privilege of the floor on the agenda workshop items. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, anyone having a point of privilege on the workshop items, please step up.
John Madden, on Ramsey Road, Middlesex. Regarding the tree ordinance, couple things. It sounds like this is going to be more of an expansive ordinance that's going to include more trees than the original ordinance. And the thing we have to keep in mind is, you know, if the tree is going to be considered dead on someone's property, and now you have to send inspectors out or borough official, so it's going to be more cost to the borough. So something to keep in mind. More importantly, I think there should be a clause somewhere in the revised amended ordinance for an imminent incident of a force majeure. I don't think it's in there, right? We should have something in there.
But like the tree gets knocked down?
Well, a big storm, hurricane, flood, you know, then what are you going to do? You're going to have, when Sandy hit, we lost 450 trees. Can you imagine sending a borough official out to determine if a tree needs to be trimmed, or it would cost a fortune, it would break the bank? So I think there should be a clause in there for force majeure situations occurring. That's just my opinion.
It's not a bad thought, John, because, you know, you have to come up with something in these oddball type situations.
Yeah, to be protecting the borough, and in case that happens. In fact, when I relooked at 395,
A state of emergency. You could.
A state of emergency can't alleviate that ordinance.
Huh?
No. A state of emergency could not alleviate that ordinance.
So we have to put in a force majeure line.
You don't have to, you can.
We want one.
We'd have to check to make sure that the regs don't specifically disclaim it, but we could look at it.
Yeah, but we'd have to, like, all right, you have a storm. Now all of a sudden you have trees blown all over the place, right? Now I got one sitting on the garage. It's not really connected to another tree, and it's a hazard.
Sure.
So, you know, the first thing I did, and that was what happened to me, is I called up the insurance company, and the guy said, if you can get it out of there without, you know, hurting anybody, because it wasn't imminent. It kind of broke from the top. It was hanging in the tree. It wasn't on the ground. It wasn't up there. It was definitely a problem. Had to be taken down. You needed it. You can't really wait for an inspector. You're just going to get rid of it. So
yeah, I'll look to make sure that language is permissible, and
yeah,
if it is, we'll add it.
Perfect. All right.
Oh, and then in closing on this, so after my son passed, I came to Borough Hall, and I redid chapter 395. I took samplings of the tree towns like Somerville, Greenbrook, and I took the best of them, and I took the things that could be participatory as far as money to come into the borough. But I just think that there's a lot of things that we need to consider, because if we do have a major situation where we're planting 1,000 trees and half of them don't take, and they're on borough property, or if they're on even residential property, what is it going to cost the borough to have an inspector or a borough official to come out? That's my only point. Thanks.
Thanks, John. Anybody else? All right, motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, guys, we are going to have an executive session tonight. It's to cover the 1190 Mountain Avenue, also Lake Creighton. Linda's going to read that in a second. Just for you guys who are going to leave, the next meeting is July 23rd for the pillars. Please make sure you show up. Linda? No action will be taken tonight.
Okay, we have Resolution 194, 2024, executive session.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second? All right, roll call.
Council President Conhan.
Yes.
Councilman Carnes.
Yes.
Councilman Casino.
Yes.
Councilman Doty.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
And Councilman Rex.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.